Can you have an EV in the UK without a home charger? In my opinion, no. Happy New Year 2019 everybody. Most people who've got EVs have got a charger on their house, usually 7 kilowatts and often fitted as part of the deal on the purchase of the car. I'm not thinking about Tesla owners here whose cars have lots of range and a fantastic charging network available. No, I'm thinking of more affordable EV drivers like me with my Ioniq. There's both a pod point and a Zappy on the front of our family home, meaning the Ioniq gets charged overnight, every night. It takes 4.5 hours to charge the 28 kilowatt battery from empty to full and less than 3 hours from 20 to 80%. You can even charge at home from a regular plug socket, though this takes 12 hours for the Ioniq. Double all these times for the Hyundai Kona EV, which has a battery which is twice the size of the Ioniq's. So is it possible to have an EV without charging at home? The short answer from my experience is no, not as the charging infrastructure currently stands. The longer answer is maybe if you have local rapid chargers that are reliable enough. I want to state from the outset that I think that all public chargers should be rapid 50 kilowatts or more. Even with a rapid charger, you're going to be charging for at least 20 minutes to make the stop worthwhile and probably nearer 40 to get the car over 90%. I think 7 kilowatt public chargers are pretty much a waste of time anywhere other than places of work or locations where you can plug in for at least an hour, like a gym, a restaurant or cinema. And because people are going to be plugged in for a relatively long time, to be able to drive to a charger and rely on getting a charge, there need to be more of these lower power chargers at any given site. Here at Longbridge in Birmingham, you can see that 5 out of the 6 7 kilowatt chargers are in use. One good example is the new Sainsbury's in Selly Oak, Birmingham, where there are 10 7 kilowatt Type 2 connectors. Anyway, I've recently not been charging nightly at the family home and instead relying on public chargers. This has been a good test of the public charging infrastructure, which had used maybe a dozen times in the first year of EV ownership without any problems at all. Not a single post was in use or out of service when I arrived at it to charge. My recent findings, however, have not been good. Christmas Eve, with 50 miles range left, I wanted to charge up in order to drive the 45-mile trip to my mother's house. I couldn't because I was short of time, and the Ecotricity charger at Hopwood Services, the M42 Junction 2, the closest rapid charger to me, was out of service. I phoned the Electric Highway and was told the engineer visit was unlikely until after Boxing Day. The next rapid charger is at Abbey Stadium in Redditch, and I didn't have a Polar RFID card at this point, so with no other working rapid charger within reasonable range, I had to resort to charging at the house. I've made several journeys in the interim. For example, on New Year's Day, I drove over to my mother's again, charged up at the repaired Hopwood Services before I set off, and again at the Telford welcome break at junction 4 of the M54 on the way back. I've now got a Polar RFID card to make the Abbey Stadium charger an option. Once you've got a Polar card, it's 10.8 pence per kilowatt hour rather than 30 pence at the Ecotricity charger at Hopwood, and I wanted to try out the new Polar card anyway. So with less than 60 miles range yesterday, I went to Abbey Stadium to charge. When I got there, very nice chap Elliot was also charging his Ioniq with just a few minutes left to go. After he was done, I plugged in the car and everything seemed fine. Elliot and I chatted for a while until I noticed that a charging error had appeared in the car. The charger had failed without adding any charge, and the guy on the helpline told me it had lost connection and would require an engineer visit. Elliot and I looked at the options, and the next nearest rapid at Greenland's Business Centre was showing us out of service. So I said my goodbyes and drove to Hopwood, which was also out of service. At this point, my only option would have been to drive to a 7 kilowatt post somewhere like Longbridge Retail Park, and since I didn't have any shopping to do, I'd have had to kill 2 hours while some decent range was put in the car. Instead, I drove back to the house and charged there. I don't know about you, but I can't spare 2 hours waiting for my car to charge. So simply put, there need to be way more CCS rapid chargers installed at convenient locations throughout the UK before owning an EV without having a home charger is a feasible proposition. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe. I hope everybody out there has a fabulous 2019. Cheerio for now.